डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन युनिव्हर्सिटी.
Namaskar. I, Dr. Khushbu Jadhav, Assistant Professor Management, welcomes you all at Chaitanya Studio, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. Students, today we are going to discuss the unit number 10, budgeting. The subject is Principles of Management of MBA course. Students, let us look the points that we have discussed in the previous lecture. Students, in the previous lecture, we have studied the meaning of budget, different characteristics of budget, budgeting definition, why budgeting is important, the advantage and limitations of the budgeting. Then the very important, that is different types of budget. In that we have learned the different types of budget on the basis of time, on the basis of usage, on the basis of flexibility, on the basis of function, and so on. Students, today we will this is the points that we have covered in the previous lecture. What is budget, characteristics of budget, what is budgeting, why budgeting is important, what is the role of budgeting, advantages and limitations. Now the types of budget. First of all, we will discuss the flexible budget. What is the meaning of flexible budget? As per the name, flexible budget, the meaning is same as per the flexibility. Like flexible budget is depend on the it is designed as to change with the change in the level of activity performed. So what is the meaning of flexibility? If one variable changes, the effect will be on the second variable. That is, it is main designed for the to change in the level of activity performed. Unlike fixed budget, what is happen in the fixed budget? The variable remains the same. That means there is no change in the fixed budget. While in flexible budget, it takes into consideration the level of activity occurs, means the unit produced or unit sold that is performed. Thus, flexible budget inhibits the feature of dynamism. So, what is the meaning of dynamism? That means it is related with the changes. It is depends on the flexibility. After the completion of accounting year, the estimates of various expenses are calculated as per the outputs produced or sold, and then these estimates are compared with the actual cost. So what is happened in the flexibility budget? The actual cost and the budgeted cost, that estimated cost, both are we are going to compare, and this yield to variance, and then efforts are made to control the cost. So if it is very much more than the estimated one, we will try to reduce the cost, and the variance generated after the process of comparison are comparatively more realistic. So here we have to take care that the objectives that we are preparing, it must be realistic, it must be achievable, or we can say it must be feasible. Now the usage of flexible budget. What is the use of flexible budgets and where it is used? So the usefulness of the flexible budget can be summarized in some point, like accurate estimates can be done. Means the estimate of cost made under flexible budgets are much accurate as compared to fixed budgets. So if we are comparing the both, the estimate of cost in which a flexible budget we are making, it is much accurate than the fixed budget. Realistic variance. What is the meaning of realistic variances? Means the variance is obtained by comparing the actual parameters with that of the flexible budget. Once gives a more accurate result, means the realistic result, realistic scenario of the variance obtained. And the last one is better control. The second last one is better control. So how better control is possible through flexible budget? So flexible budget serves as a better control measure by giving a true picture of the deviations happen. So wherever there is some loopholes, the flexible budget will help in that. And the last one is corrective actions. Means with the help of flexible budget, it is possible to identify the loopholes, and we can take the necessary and corrective steps. Now in same way, there are advantages, but some limitations of the flexible budgets are there. Like there are skilled workers, but the preparation of flexible budget requires skilled workers. So when we are making the flexible budget, we are dependent on the skilled workers. Means we have to get the help of the skilled workers. Now it is very tricky process. So why flexible budget, the process is tricky? Because to estimate the budgeted cost as per the level of activity performed is very tricky process. So the advantages are there, but same way the limitations of the flexible budgets are there. Now on the basis of their function, if we can say, so budgets can be classified as master budgets and subsidiary budgets. So here students, as per the name, you can get the meaning like master budget and subsidiary budgets. So what is the meaning of master budget? So master budget is a summary of all the functional budgets prepared. So wherever we are making these functional budgets, so it is the summary of all, and it is a, we can say it is a combination of all the budgets. So which are there? So they are maybe production budget, they may be cost budgets, they may be sales budget, various expenses budget, etc. And why it is made? It is made to present the comprehensive picture of the organization plan. And we can say the master budget is very much useful tool for the business to decide a roadmap, and it is helpful for the business to get the to achievement of the goals. Now, what is the meaning of subsidiary budget? So the subsidiary budget includes various budgets made by the business enterprise. So it may be for the sales budget, we can say it may be for the cost budgets, production budget, financial budgets, and so on. So this subsidiary budgets also consist of direct material cost budget, administrative cost budgets, selling and distribution costs, and so on. Now the third one is sales budget. What is the meaning of sales budget? So sales budget is an estimate of total sales that can be expressed in monetary terms. So whatever selling is happen, we can measure in monetary terms, and it is often the foundation on which all the budgets are formed. So we can say this is the basis for other budgets, and based on that budget, if the sales budget is prepared, the other budgets can be made by the help of this sales budget. And the estimated quantity of sales as well as the amount of goods to be sold is estimated in the sales budget. So this is very important. What is happening in the sales budget? We are estimating the quantity of sales, and another thing, the amount of goods to be sold that we are estimating. So historical data about the sales, information that is required, reports from the salesman that is plays a significant role, how market conditions is there, production capacity, sales policy, etc. parameters we have to take into consideration. Now, what is production budget? The production budget contains a forecast regarding the quantity of units to be produced in the budgeted period. So in that period, the units to be produced, how much units we are going to produce, that is estimated in the production budget. And this budget is prepared after preparing the sales budget. So when we are making the sales budget, this budget is prepared after preparing the sales budget. As we have discussed right now, the sales budget is helpful for preparing the other budget. So we can take the basis of this sales budget, and this budget gives an idea about the needs of storage, we can say insurance, maintenance, etc. This service is required in order to maintain the quantity of the goods produced. Now, what should be kept in mind while making this production budget? So we should be kept in mind that the production budget should be designed in a way that sales budget, so as to avoid any shortage and wastage of the goods produced. So we have to take care that this much units is required to be produced. So with the help of making the production budget, the required number of units will be produced in the same way that we have estimated. And after preparing the production budget only, the other budgets may be helpful for making, like material, we can say labor cost, overhead cost budget, that can be prepared on the basis of this. Now, what is the meaning of cost budget? The name itself suggests the meaning, like the cost budget is further classified into production cost budget and other cost budget. So when the preparation of production budget is completed, an estimate is made regarding the various costs associated with the good produced, and this process of preparation of production cost budget is started. So what is the meaning of this? The cost budget is further classified into production cost budgets and other cost budgets. Why? Because we have to estimate the cost. Whenever we are producing the units, so we have to measure the number of unit produced and what is the cost of producing that units. So this will be helpful after making this cost budget. And there are numerous costs that is associated with production and separate budget that are separated for each type of cost. So the cost is also divided into different parts. So for every type of cost, the different cost of budget can be prepared. Now, what is the meaning of direct material cost? the direct material cost is prepared with the help of the production manager. Means what is happening while making the direct material cost? Firstly, it is estimated how much raw material will be required for the desired level of production. So it is maybe decided that this number of units we require to produce. So as per the number of units we are going to produce, the raw material that we can measure that this much raw material will be required to produce this number of units, and consequently what happens, the its cost is estimated in the direct material cost budgets. So whatever number of units we are going to produce, in same way the raw material that is required to produce that number of units, that cost is estimated in the direct material cost budget. So for estimating the material required, quantity of opening and closing stock, then the economic order quantity, etc. factors are to be taken into consideration. So whatever we are making, whatever we are doing, the all things that we have to take into consideration while making direct material cost. Now the direct labor cost budget. Direct labor budget contains an estimate of the labor required to carry out the necessary production. That means in previous budget, the number of units that we are knowing, but the raw material that we are measuring, that how much raw material will be required. In direct labor cost budget, it is something different. Like here we are estimating the labor required to carry out the necessary production. So in that raw material required, here the labor required to produce that units, means it discloses the number of workers that is required. So their remuneration rates, how much remuneration you are going to produce, what skills are required in labor, means the level of skills, whether the labor are required, that is we have to give them training, so that training period we have to decide. Then another thing regarding incentives, means whether we are going to give them incentives as per the number of units they are producing or as per their performance, etc. And then next one is selling and distribution expense budget. The units produced needs to be marketed and distributed before the actual sales is done. So here the number of units need to be marketed and distributed before the actual sales is done. That means the number of units that we are going to produce or we are distributing or marketing, that is done before the sales is done, means it consists of the salaries, we can say commissions that we are giving to salesmen, their traveling expenses, we are giving discounts to the customer, all things are included in this. Now the administrative cost budgets. So there are numerous administrative costs that is affiliated with the production. This may be this includes salaries, electricity bills, rents, etc. In same way, production overhead budget. So this type of budget consists of estimation of indirect material and labor cost and indirect expenses. So which are the indirect expenses? So we can say that depreciation on plant are also estimated under the production overhead cost budget. So students, in this unit, we have learned what is the meaning of budgeting, the different types of budget, and the remaining part of the types of budget we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you.